What does quantum physics have to do with Jesus Christ or anything he said? Well, there is a hint in the verse that tells us that he is before all things and by him all things consist. Let's jump right into particle physics. Particles are in no way solid like you would think of a particle of dust. Particles are concentrated points of energy that have mass and electric charge. Therefore, having mass and electric charge, they constitute matter. The particles are condensed points of energy that are spinning, but not in the classical sense like a basketball on a finger. In the sense that they are a magnetic vortex. You can see it right here on the screen there. Magnetic vortex.
What are they, just some sort of little squiggly lines?
When it comes to particles, you could say that they're spherical. But as far as shape, they oscillate. An oscillation is the same as your heart pumping blood in and out, same as you breathing in and out. Oscillation is binary code. 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0. And how fast it's 1 and 0ing determines what shape that it's in. Pay attention to these shapes, we're going to see them later. And of course, the particles are the building blocks of the building blocks of reality, atoms. For instance, each proton and each neutron has 3 quarks. And of course, every atom needs at least 1 electron to be an atom. Hydrogen atoms have 1 electron, the basic, most building blockist. Now, when I say that a particle oscillating shows that it's the same relative structure as an atom, I'm being extremely generous. We could chuck that word relative right out the door for a reason. Just as particles are able to oscillate and change shape, so too do atoms oscillate. Observe the hydrogen wave function, the oscillation of the atom. Notice that the shapes are not only relative, they're exactly the same ones. How is it that a particle, which is a condensed point of energy not really spinning but spinning, particles make up atoms, and then atoms are able to oscillate in the exact same way? Why? Because they're the same structure. The atom is the same structure as the particle, scaled up, and you need many particles to make an atom. From particles to atoms, we can directly observe with our own eyes without doing any math. They already did it. Look, particles and atoms are the same relative structure, and the only reason I use the term relative is because the atom is way bigger than the particle, thereby invoking relativity. Water in the ocean acts just like quantum mechanics. Unified theory, I'm telling it to you. What we see here, and I might have made this term up, but we can use it. You know what I'm talking about. This is toroidal wave function, hydrogen wave function. Why is it this shapes? Because it's a toroid. Look, the wave function of a hydrogen atom is the fact that it is toroidal. Its shape is irrelevant. It can change that. It's a toroid. But it's gonna fall within this domain right here, and this is gonna get real familiar. Here, you see this shape that an oscillating subatomic particle can be found in. Here it is observed again. Oops, I jumped too far ahead. That's the Milky Way galaxy. Wait, no, that's not it. Yes, it is. This cell right here is a toroid as we observe cell division. Here is a toroidal vortex in mathematics. You can see here with this 3D cube how all shapes arise from circles. Fundamentally, the particles aren't spinning, but what are they rotating around themselves? A spin emanating from within. You can clearly see dimensions right here. You see, the faster it's vibrating, the more reality is made manifest. And this is why I say that heaven is hyper reality, whereas earth is just mundane, boring, old reality. Because like this is us right here, this keeps going, getting more and more complex the higher it goes into heaven. And once more, we do see this in astronomy, how a star becomes a galaxy. Wait, stars die. Yeah, technically. Right here. Now let me show you the toroidal vortex of a star. It goes spring, summer, fall, and winter. Birth, growth, entropy, death. Also known as binary code. Look, spring, summer, fall, winter. Birth, growth, entropy, death is just binary code. Whether it's displayed on the face of the moon, broken up into 8 phases as the moon goes from full to new, from full to new, displaying that binary code, 1 0 1 0. The sun also showing toroidal vortex and its oscillations between solar maximum and solar minimum, solar maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum. That's broken up into 11 increments because it takes 11 years. And so as the nebula, the star is doing this, and as the massive star, the star is doing this between stellar minimum and stellar maximum. And the red giant is also doing this, though it's slowing down now, right? Entropy. Until it can no longer contain itself. Kaboom! It explodes. Death. It died. Jesus said, you must be born again, which is the whole point of the toroidal vortex being evident in all things. What happens to a star when it dies? Get a look at that right there. Get a look at that black hole right there. Wow, that looks like a galaxy. How so? Well, there's a black hole at the center of every galaxy. Whoops, because it's required. Do you see the resemblance? Can you spot the relativity? Though this be tiny, and this be large. We can see that it's all toroids, right? How is a sphere a toroid? I just showed you. Spring, summer, fall, and winter. Hey, wait a minute. The Earth is a toroid with that magnetic vortex that particles have. Huh. There is cell division. That shape is real familiar by now, huh? There's the Milky Way galaxy again. That's a tree, is also toroidal. That's a human being, is also toroidal. Looks like an apple, which is also toroidal. There's the Earth again. There's sacred geometry. The galactic plane, what is that? Well, it's represented here by the present with the past and the future, the black hole and the white hole. But let's go back to the star real quick. It was born, it's a star. It's a star. It's a star. It's a star exploding. The star is no more after supernova. The star died, just like the caterpillar dies in the cocoon and is found no more. What emerges is the butterfly. A black hole is not a star. But it was one. And this we know, or at least we think we do, peer-reviewed and published, that what is feeding that black hole, Sagittae, in the center of the Milky Way galaxy, is its toroidal structure. Wait, why is all the matter swirling around a black hole? He's trying to eat it, you see. But I thought he died, only to be born again. He's a toroid, huh? Knowing that the star is a toroid and that's how it becomes a galaxy, or at least a giant black hole in the middle of one, is nothing more than binary code. 1010, 1010. The ball is bouncing, right? Oscillating. Look at what shape our galaxy is in. Uh-oh. Galaxy's a toroid. Calm down. Will it die? Of course it will. That's part of its process, being a toroid. It's given. You must be born again, Jesus said. Why does it matter that every single thing, from the particles to the atoms, up through the cells and the bacteria, up through all the life forms, the planet Earth itself, the moon, the sun, all the stars, tell this one story over and over and over and over on every level? Why would that matter? Let's relabel this image real quick. This is an acorn. It's gonna be an acorn, it's gonna be an acorn, it's gonna be an acorn. Uh-oh, it's not gonna be an acorn anymore. One way or the other, it's not gonna be an acorn anymore. Ye must be born again. If he does it right, he gets to be an oak tree. How could a tiny little acorn become such a giant tree? Let's relabel this. Sperm cell. He's gonna be a sperm cell, he's gonna be a sperm cell, he's gonna be a... Uh-oh! He can never be one again! Human being. Okay, a sperm is a toroid, so what? What's a human? A human is a toroid. Which means, let's relabel this again. That right there is a human. A wee baby man. Born. That right there is a young man approaching his prime. Reached it, now he's getting old. Oh no, the human died. He doesn't get to be a human anymore. He must be born again. As a human? No. Is a sperm reborn as a sperm? Is an acorn reborn as an acorn? Is a star reborn as a star? Is a caterpillar reborn as a caterpillar? We've been over this. Of course not. He's a toroid. But atoms have to be traumatically bonded to become something that can be considered a solid or a liquid or a gas or a plasma. And so too does the body of Christ now. This video brought to you today from Romans chapter 1. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Hold the truth in unrighteousness. Because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath shown it unto them. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. I've shown it to you clearly today. The rocks and everything else tell the gospel of Jesus Christ.